Super teams and baseball are like toothpaste and orange juice. They just don't mix. And now, people are mad that the Dodgers are trying to build their own version of the Monstars. First, it was Ohtani. 10 years, $700 million, with the vast majority of his money deferred for the next 20 years. Next, it was Tyler Glasnow and Manny Margot in exchange for Ryan Pepiot and Johnny DeLuca. Glasnow then signed a 5-year, $136 million extension with his hometown team. Finally, the Dodgers shelled out $325 million to land Yoshinobu Yamamoto to complete the Dodgers super team. Who could possibly hope to compete with the might of the Dodgers? With their unstoppable lineup, unfathomably nasty pitching staff, and a fan base who fills the biggest stadium in baseball on a nightly basis, though not always right at first pitch with all of that LA traffic, who can possibly hope to stop the Los Angeles Super Dodgers? That, my friends, would be basically any team in baseball on any given day. The 84-win Arizona Diamondbacks beat the 100-win Dodgers in the 2023 NLDS. The 90-win Philadelphia Phillies dismantled the 2023 Braves, one of the most electric, high-powered offenses the sport has ever seen, with ease. The Rangers slapped the 101-win Orioles senseless this year in the ALDS. 3 high-powered offenses, 3 very potent teams, 3 100-plus win ball clubs, yet almost nothing to show for it. And while these 3 examples are all from just one season, you can't ignore the fact that baseball will always be a sport immune to the super team. Many have tried and many have failed, especially in the 21st century, to create rosters filled with all-world talent and overwhelm the competition. George Steinbrenner, the late owner of the New York Yankees, famously used his overwhelming financial muscle to lure the biggest and brightest stars to the Big Apple. And while Steinbrenner's Yankees won 3 titles in a row from 1998 to 2000, they've won just 1 World Series since then, back in 2009. The rise of advanced analytics and unconventional methods of player evaluation, you might know it as Moneyball, has leveled the playing field dramatically. Gone are the days of being able to assemble super teams by simply spending the most money. Since 2001, only 4 teams have won more than 1 championship: the Boston Red Sox, San Francisco Giants, Houston Astros, and St. Louis Cardinals. Nobody else has won more than once in that span. Despite the Braves and Dodgers' regular season dominance, both teams have won just 1 championship apiece since the turn of the century. Dodger fans may feel hard done by when you look at their track record, but the fact of the matter is that baseball lends itself to parity to the point where not even a super team can dethrone the undefeated entity: baseball itself. The Yankees' attempts to build super teams failed to the point that they had to pivot their strategy and have caused the baseball world to wonder, what happened to the Yankees? Sure, they traded for Juan Soto, but there was a time in history where the biggest free agents were seemingly destined for New York. That just isn't the case anymore. If you think that this time will be different, then think again. Shohei Ohtani, the most valuable player that baseball has ever seen, wasn't even able to carry the Angels to a winning record, much less the postseason. And that was with the second most valuable player of this generation in Mike Trout on the same team. Ohtani and Trout, baseball's unicorn, playing alongside the most complete position player the game has had since Barry Bonds, together have made a grand total of 0 playoff appearances with the Angels. You'd be right in asserting that the Dodgers are head and shoulders above the Angels in every facet of organizational strength. Better farm system, player development, coaching, financial muscle, they all favor the Dodgers. But adding 3 players to a team of stars like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman doesn't automatically make you the most powerful force the sport has ever seen, and it certainly doesn't guarantee you a World Series. Let's rewind to 2022. The Dodgers won 111 games with newly acquired Freddie Freeman on the roster. So surely, after making the NL West look like a cakewalk, the Dodgers would steamroll their way to a World Series, right? Well, not exactly. The Dodgers were upset by the San Diego Padres in the 2022 NLDS in one of the more recent David versus Goliath matchups. The Dodgers have quite frankly owned the Padres, especially since 2021 when Fernando Tatis Jr. burst onto the scene and gave the Friar faithful hope that they had their savior. LA has won 35 of the 51 regular season matchups, averaging 5.3 runs per game. But the Padres won in 4 games in the 2022 NLDS, which just doesn't make sense when you consider how dominant LA has been against their rivals. Baseball in October is very different from regular season baseball, and nobody knows this better than the Dodgers. But what the casual observer may not understand about these moves is that the Dodgers have spent the last few years strategically positioning themselves better than any other team in the bidding for Ohtani or Yamamoto or any other free agent. The 2023 Dodgers, while led by Betts and Freeman on big money contracts, were at their core cobbled together by a group of players on smaller term, lower value deals to get themselves in a financially competitive position to bid for the premier free agents. JD Martinez, Jason Hayward, Miguel Rojas, they all supplemented rookies like James Outman, Miguel Vargas, Bobby Miller, and Emmett Sheehan to build a team equipped for the 162-game slog known as the regular season. And while they got off to a slow start, the Dodgers once again showed baseball why they have best-in-class player development and coaching. Martinez rediscovered his hitting, Hayward returned to the offensive talent we first saw in 2010 when he came up with the Braves, Outman was a legitimate Rookie of the Year candidate, and Bobby Miller was beyond a serviceable option out of the rotation. Though the Dodgers as a starting unit had their worst ERA since moving to Los Angeles, they somehow managed to win 100 games. Not many teams can manage to scrape that many wins out of what they had, but that's what separates the Dodgers from other teams. Ohtani picked the Dodgers because he wants to win. Yamamoto picked the Dodgers because he wants to win. Even with similar financial terms on the table, it's how the Dodgers prepare their players to win that separates them. It's not just throwing money at the problem, and even if it was, there's one more crucial consideration with baseball. The games aren't played on paper. Yamamoto has thrown exactly 0 pitches in Major League Baseball. Ohtani just underwent a second major elbow procedure. Tyler Glasnow has thrown 120 innings or more exactly 1 time in his career, and that was last season. The Dodgers on paper are a super team, but on the field, they may be far from it despite also having Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman on their roster. We just won't know anything until the season starts, and even so, there's a lot of baseball left to play. So when you see the numbers the Dodgers committed to just 3 players over the last month or so, give credit where it's due. They haven't just invested in players. They've invested in the infrastructure to draft, develop, and nurture players from the minor leagues all the way through the big leagues. Yes, they're armed with a massive TV deal and have an absurd amount of money. But it's not just that they've spent for the sake of it. They've spent in the most intelligent places and have an unprecedented opportunity to create a super team. Don't hate the Dodgers because they've spent and spent well. Hate your own team because they haven't done the same. That's all for this one. Let me know what you think about the Dodgers' supposed super team down in the comments below. And if you made it this far, consider dropping a like and be sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.